This is David Bruce Leonard from the Earth Medicine Institute here with my friend, mentor, and fellow troublemaker, Ed Fell.
Oh yeah, troublemaker. I like that. That's my favorite right there.
And I've been wanting to interview Ed for many years, and so we're here and we're doing it. What are we going to talk about?
We can talk about epiphanies.
Epiphanies, yeah.
We have this way of doing.
Yeah.
You call me in the middle of the night and say, "Hey, I just got an epiphany." And you wake me up and go, "Oh, that's a really nice epiphany." We got to write that one down. We have a book.
We share these brainstorming, these sudden insights which nobody cares about except us.
Yeah, it was
So odd. Ed is a well. Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, Ed Fell. I originally hail from Philadelphia, then to Bowler, and then here, and I've been here about 16 years on Maui. I never know what to call me. It's like
What do other people call you?
some call me a therapist.
Yeah,
Some use
yeah.
derogatory terms to describe me. But I'm a bit of a storyteller sometimes. I'm a guide. I think the best one I think I like most lately is professional mentor.
Mentor, yeah. Well, you're one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I notice I get a little embarrassed when you say that.
I know. That's why I enjoy saying it. So, what does it mean to be a mentor? What does that mean to you?
When I think of mentor, I think of Merlin.
Oh, interesting.
Like how he mentored.
Did he mentor people?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Uh-huh.
Remember the Sorcerer's Apprentice with Fantasia?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, that was Merlin. That he was the.
I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. But anyway, Merlin, he mentored
Right.
lots of famous folks of myth or whatever. But it's a great archetype. And to me, a mentor means that I know you well enough. I take the interest and curiosity to know you well enough to not only know where I might be able to assist you and fill in some of the holes of your own psyche, or to guide you in a direction, challenge you, befriend you, but coming from both love and also a piece of wisdom that I picked up along the way.
What do you think is it? Well, what is a mentor? What are you thinking when you're mentoring someone? How do you think about that? Like when you're mentoring me or somebody else, what goes through your mind?
What goes through my mind? I think lately it's going through my heart more than my mind first.
Yeah.
Of just feeling into who this being is that's in front of me, and you and I have a really crazy because we both are in love with our minds. Like we love the play. To us, it's play.
Yeah.
Up there. So I'm paying attention to that too, of how I might be able to be of service at a given moment. And I pay attention to what bubbles up. Like if I'm sitting with you, I'll pay attention to what images or words come up in my mind, or what ideas or what old pieces of wisdom I picked up. So it's kind of arise, and I'll say, geez, should I say that or should I point that out? But I trust this inner wisdom to be there when I need it.
It says yes or no, depending.
Yes or no, or sort of muse kind of thing.
So, if you were to mentor someone else, how would you do it differently than me? Like if you have other people you're mentoring, would you use a different approach?
Yeah, it begins with kind of a generalized sense of who they are and where they might be in their field. Like with you, I know I can go directly at you and tell you you're full of shit or whatever, I can't do that with most people. I think partly because we have a long relationship,
Right.
but also I know your psyche can handle a direct
Assault.
confront. I'm going to use assault. And other people are going to need a softer way of having them So I might use metaphor with them or speak about some journey I've been on that might be similar to theirs and how I navigated it myself.
What do you think? What would be a danger of mentoring someone for you, or for them? What would be a danger? What are the pitfalls that you would be concerned about?
One thing I know that is a particular concern of mine is that someone become too attached to me, like transferring good dad or great grandpa or babe. And that's a little uncomfortable. One of my mentors a long time ago, Don Jones, was a Mankind Project leader. He said to me, because I talked to him about this, how uncomfortable I get when I'm getting these really positive projections on me.
Right.
No, it's like it's
For me, it's responsibility too.
there's a responsibility that I better live up to it. Yeah, I'm not want to go. I'm so conscious of not wanting to disappoint or betray someone who's already wounded.
Right. Right.
And what he told me is that I had to learn how to hold the projection of someone else, whether it was good dad, good grandpa, favorite teacher, whatever it was, until they could take back the projection themselves and where. So it's a kind of a patient, yeah, you see this in me, but I want to be able to help you find your own gift of what you've been projecting onto me.
Right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely. And is there a defining moment when you see that, like you feel them pull back their projection?
And I don't think it's a moment. I think it's a gradual, as I work with them, to gradually they begin to take it back. I'd be suspicious if they took it back all at once.
Right.
But wait a minute, you're not the king. I am. It's like, that's a little off, right?
What is Mankind Project?
Oh, Mankind Project used to be called the New Warrior Network. And it was an organization that developed and now it's worldwide. It's an initiation for men. I did my Mankind Project weekend or New Warrior Network weekend in 1991. And for me, it was a giant leap towards my own understanding, embracing my own sacred masculine.
Sacred masculine. What is the sacred masculine?
Oh God, you're challenging me. Sacred masculine.
People can be rolling their eyes, going, "Oh yeah, okay. There's my sacred statue."
Maui woo woo god. I think it means more about what it's not.
Oh, and
It's not.
what is the sacred masculine not?
He's not the dominant top of the pyramid of power and control.
Huh. Okay.
That the sacred masculine embraces his vulnerability, is able to see things from a different set of eyes than that dominant masculine controlling thing.
But then where's he going to get his power if he's being soft and flexible and
Who's to say that's not his power?
Oh, okay. So when would he make a stand for something he believes in?
Well, that too. That he has that discernment of knowing when to be strong and firm and grow his backbone. When Terrence Real, the writer who wrote quite a few books, he's been on Good Morning America and stuff. He and I struck up a friendship back in the 90s at a Robert Bly conference.
Yeah.
And he wrote about what does it mean to be a man. And he went to visit the Maasai tribe in Africa.
Wow.
And he asked the head elder through an interpreter, what does it mean to be a man? And in this tribe, men took their boys through an initiation that lasted a long time. It was very dangerous. Essentially, long ago, they don't do it anymore, but a long time ago, the boys had to go out of the bush and kill a lion with just a spear. Life taking back life. I guess
They made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, they were a herding tribe, and the boys would herd cattle, and the boys would hold hands walking out to the fields.
Yeah.
There was a tenderness about them. So the head elder said to Terence, "Go sit on that boulder until I come and get you." And he went into this long house or hut and talked with the old other elders about this American white guy out there who's trying to understand what means to be a man.
Right.
And they contemplated all day of how to answer him. So they came out, and through an interpreter again, the elder said, "When it's time to be fierce, you must not just be fierce, you must be extraordinarily fierce.
Huh.
And when it's time to be tender, you must not just be tender, you must be extraordinarily tender."
Wow.
That touched me deeply,
Yeah.
because it's not that old masculine that's all about control and
Right.
strength and
Right.
power, but it's also having the flexibility to be as tender as possible. Doesn't pigeonhole women to be the nurturers.
Right.
Men can also be the nurturers.
So we can be fierce and kind depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens in a Mankind Project weekend? What do you do?
It's a secret. This is basically, we're asking men to look at, and I've led well over 100 of these in the last, since 91. We're asking men to look at their holes, what we call shadows, the parts of themselves that they've hidden, that they deny, that have had to repress because it wasn't safe to express. For instance, their anger in their families. So they had to repress it in order to stay sane. So we get to have men look at what shadows might be in the way of the fullest, most positive expression of who they are.
Hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of processes that men go through doing that. There's a chance for very deep personal work.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you did the Mankind Project, and I
Yeah.
remember your personal work,
Yeah.
and how powerful that was for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was like having somebody put their hand down my throat and pull me inside out.
Wow.
It was amazing. It was one of the defining moments of my life.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with mine in 91. It was really like, what just happened? It was so out of the ordinary of being this nice guy, therapist, counselor that I was. Like, this was radically transformative. The whole weekend.
So do you see yourself as having changed a lot from the time you went through your weekend and now?
Enormously. I
Really?
hardly recognized that man in 1991.
Huh.
Because that shadow work just doesn't happen in one time.
Right.
It's a matter of doing it. I do a little bit of shadow work almost every day,
Yeah.
of trying to discover what still is in shadow in my shadow rooms, in my inner Pandora's box,
Right.
I call it, and begin to investigate where my holes are.
Huh.
The work never stops.
And then there's epiphanies.
And then there's epiphanies. Like, yeah.
So you wrote a book.
I did.
I know.
Be smoked.
Called Your Feral Heart. The working title is Your Feral Heart.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. What
It's like,
what prompted that? After all these years of mentoring men and doing men's work, what?
It was interesting. This guy, this psychic guy, said to me about 3 weeks ago, "You gotta be writing a book, you know." And writing has always been a huge chore. Like, it's just to get in my chair and begin to write has been really challenging. I have to confront my own shadows.
Yeah.
But one morning I got out of bed, and I paid to, it feels like I have these inner muses that talk to me. Don't lock me up, all right?
I won't tell a soul. I won't tell anybody.
Good. Thank God it's just you and I here. And I was thinking about Ram Dass, and this phrase came out instead of "be here now," which is his famous book. was be love now. And then the muse, get out of your bed and get into your writing chair and begin to write. I came out to this chair and I wrote for the next 7 hours. I didn't stop barely to except go to the bathroom,
Wow.
get a cup of tea,
Huh.
and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And it became probably 80% or 90% of the book that you wrote, that you read, is that.
Is that
The much
came
of
from
that.
that? Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
What was the impact on you from reading it?
well, because I know you and I know how you think, and you and I think so differently about the world, you know? Um, but it was like merging Jungian psychology with really deep spirituality. Because Jungian psychology is very much about personality and thought patterns and archetypes and stuff. But you, in the book, I saw that you were completely you were actually merging that with spirituality, with direct experiential gnosis. You know, it wasn't just, oh, this is my archetype. It's like, I don't know how to describe it,
I
but
know I took some poignant moments in my life and had excerpts that were kind of an autobiography. And I saw it because I want my desires to make really complex things like Jungian psychology or spirituality into a simple, practical, easy to understand way.
and that's exactly what you did.
That's what
That's exactly what you did. Yeah. It was like merging shadow work and Eastern spirituality together. And would you be willing to read some of your book?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is the introduction. The introduction is probably the longest chapter of the whole book. But
Interesting.
anyway. Introduction. We pass through many doorways in our lifetime. A birth, a death, a betrayal, a truth that rips the skin off of our illusions. A grief that cracks the chest open. A moment when the old strategies fail and something buried starts pounding from within. This book was born from those thresholds. I did not come to this book as someone who has mastered love. I came scarred by my own life, humbled by grief, exposed by my own shadows, and slowly taught that love is not something I can manifest through striving, performance, or spiritual achievement. Love cannot thrive in a cage. I like that. It does not kneel before theories, our sentimentality, or our need to control it. Love is outrageous. I like that. Untamed and alive. It tears down the walls we built for our protection and makes bridges out of the rubble. Before you read further, let's reclaim and expand this misunderstood word, love. I am not speaking of sentiment or romance or the insatiable desires we often mistake for love. I am speaking of the capital L love, something ancient, larger, and wilder than human emotion. Love is a generative force, a creative force. It's an energy that holds us and perhaps holds all things together. It's not fragile. It's not scarce. It is generous by nature, fierce and compassionate in its raw truth, older than the mind that rises to define it. It is not artificial intelligence. It's the original intelligence. Love is timeless and cannot be defined with words, but it can be experienced. This love is not here to make us comfortable. It does not ask permission from a frightened mind or the armored heart. It tears through what is false. It exposes the beautiful fraud of who we thought we had to be in order to survive. It rips through the armor we have polished for survival. and identity. Love is not a mood. It is not a performance. It is not a spiritual costume. It is a life force, feral and holy, and refuses to be tamed. Here's my favorite line. Hold on. Love comes to ravish you. We were talking about ravishing earlier today.
Yeah, yeah.
Love comes to break you open. Love comes to remake you to your truest self. Kind of like your experience in MKP where you had this sense it was pulling you inside out.
Yeah.
That's love energy.
Feeling exposed,
My gosh.
but really exposed as in this is truth now.
Yes. Yeah. And you can't go back.
Right.
Right. Once you've tasted that truth,
Yeah.
it kind of sets your compass in the direction that you're meant to go. Yeah. My challenge in writing this book has been trying to give language to what can only be lived. Love must be felt, risked, and surrendered to. I like that. We're surrendering to.
And it may not make us comfortable.
No. Well, it will make us whole. Love wants your doubt. It wants your fear. It wants your grief. It wants your shadow, your mistakes, your unfinishedness. It does not come merely to comfort you. This love can manifest with more tenderness than ever thought possible, or ambush you as fierce truth. It can show up as red hot passion, a boundary, can show up as grief or a humbling surrender. Like any good friend, it may forbid you to betray yourself any longer. Wow. It will knock hardest where you are most offended. We live in a world that rewards image, money, certainty, performance, cognitive intelligence, and the illusion of power. We are taught how to achieve, defend, and explain ourselves, but rarely how to sit in the presence of our own humanity with compassion. Rarely are we taught how to let grief deepen our roots rather than harden us. Rarely do we learn to love without turning it into a transaction or abandoning ourselves. If you are holding this book, perhaps something in you is tired of striving. Perhaps you are sick of your own masks. Boy, that one hit me hard. Your projections, the endless demand to become someone else you can feel worthy of belonging. Perhaps you are longing for a spirituality that can survive contact with real life. Your tears, your fears, your longing, your unfinishedness. Then you may be ready. Then you may already know why you're here reading this book. Love is less about what we do and more of who we are at our core before fear enslaved us. So come, bring your armor, bring your wounds, bring longing, bring your fear of being fully alive. Love will strip you down to what is real. The door is open. Let's walk through.
Wow. That's fabulous. That's it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You can feel, I can feel it. It's just like, yeah. Yeah.
I love synchronicity. We're talking about the book, and 10 seconds ago, as we were talking,
Yeah.
this text came in with a testimonial from somebody.
Oh, really? About the book? What you reading?
This book is an honest read, one that imprints the heart and calls us forward to an undomesticated love. This is Amber Bonici,
Oh,
who wrote this incredible. She's talented herself.
wow.
Yeah.
So read that again. What did you say? This book?
This book is an honest read, one that imprints the heart and calls us forward to an undomesticated love.
Wow.
She said she wrote that right after reading it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah. So how are you feeling after? Because it's been what, 2 months since you started?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything changed in you since that time? Anything shifted?
Again, it did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to writing.
Yeah.
You're well written yourself. When I reread the book, because I have to edit it 30 or 40 times before it's ready,
Yeah.
and with your help too, I reread it and it seems to go in deeper into my own core. The words, the impact, not just the words, but the essence of the empty.
Yeah. What it's saying.
Right.
Yeah. Me too.
So every
Yeah,
time I read it, it gets.
Like I've read that myself 10, 15, 20 times. And
Yeah.
when you were reading it, it's like, oh yeah, the substance is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm now doing an audio version of it. I was doing some of that today.
Oh yeah.
And hearing it out loud is another different experience than it's like even when I read this out loud, it goes to a different place in me. It's like poetry. Poetry is not meant to be just read words on a page. It's meant to be spoken.
Spoken. Totally. Right.
And there's a whole different intelligence, I think, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was the impact for you on the book or reading the book? What did it do for you?
I was kind of gobsmacked. Well, because I know you and I know how you think, and it just took that thinking and gave it went from being sort of I don't mean to be, I'm not saying you're two-dimensional, but it took your ideas and gave them to really a lot of depth. Like it was stuff you had talked about before, but you put it in a way that I just know people are going to love it. Yeah, because you know why? Because it's true,
Yeah.
and people know that.
Yeah.
Like when you hear somebody telling the truth, like not truth with a capital T.
Yeah. There's a funk.
Yeah, exactly. It lands, and the truth is that we have to love the parts of ourselves we don't like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they come out sideways.
They always will.
Yeah.
This is, all the things I've done in my life. I almost choke on the words, but this is something I'm really proud of.
That's fantastic.
I don't do self-pride too well.
I don't do
Fail. It's in shadow, I guess, but it's a little uncomfortable for me to say how proud I am of this piece.
Good. You can lean into that.
So the I was rereading the chapter on the inner child,
No.
and again, what happens every time I read it is something like I sometimes have to get up and walk around because I'm starting to tear up, like something still is very much alive in those chapters for me.
For you, yeah, yeah.
And I like it also that it's like a workbook. There's questions at the end of each chapter
Right.
that helps an individual go deep down and find out what's down there in shadow or what some of their conditioning patterns are that don't serve them.
So when you read that, do you process some of your own stuff?
All the time.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think that's what the Mankind Project taught me. That the initiation isn't over. There's a constant initiation going on, which requires a death and a rebirth. There's a death, a challenge, a descent, and then before there could be an ascension.
Right.
So it seems to be almost like a daily practice for me to do the inner work necessary.
And just that I know it's like when you get my experience in a Mankind Project was I kind of got my nose rubbed in the stinky spot in a very helpful way, right? But now I know I can.
do a shot on my head. Sorry.
But now, in a loving way. But it was rubbed in the stinky spot, and now.
But no one pointed to you, said, "Here's your stinky spot."
No. Nobody's doing that. It's just the whole system encouraged me to go there. It was, yeah, yeah, and once I know I could do it, that was being pulled inside out. Once I knew I could do that, I can do it all the time. It's just a matter of what's the truth.
And there's a certain amount of getting, like pain can often point us to something that we need to investigate or shadow. Physical pain, emotional pain. So part of this book is about learning how to sit with the pain until it transmutes into something that might be useful.
Yeah. And it's the same part of the brain. Physical and emotional pain are in the same part of the brain too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just experienced a little bit differently.
Yeah, well, like you say, the medicine's in the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not that I don't want to. So many men, even after they've done the Mankind Project, begin this process of worshiping their own wounds. They build an altar to how much shame,
worship, yeah.
how much shame they carry in their body.
Right, right.
Oh my God! It's almost ego thing. But how to get through that to? I'm not interested in digging up the dirt and putting your nose in the stinky spot. I'm interested in helping you find the gold that's in you, which is most of what your shadow is.
Right. Well, that's just the path that you need to go through to get there.
To get
It's just a doorway. You don't get stuck in the door.
No, right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get stuck in the door.
Yeah. Yeah. And they think it's about their pain.
Yeah.
It's just another form of narcissism.
Yeah. Or self-victimization or whatever, some disempowering
Right.
thing. We got to get to the gold.
Right.
That's where the gold is, right?
You were talking about the chapter on childhood, and how have you used that childhood material? How have you used that? How do you think about that in your own life, your personal life?
So this is a good one then, and it's vulnerable for me to talk about it. So back in the 80s or 90s, I began to do inner child work. It was kind of the big thing back then. It's just was taken off,
Right.
and so I would do these inner visualizations that are part real memory and part imagining. And one of the first images that came to me is, let me preface it by saying my first 2-3 years of my life were pretty horrible, really horrible, and I had to find a way to survive this, and I learned by becoming almost autistic-like. I would stare out a window for hours and hours and not move. I found a way to go inside that was so I didn't have to experience the pain around me. So in this visualization that's also in the book, I remember visiting my little 3-year and 3-month-old boy whose grandpa had just died in the living room in front of him. And I don't remember that scene. I know what happened just from what my mother and my aunt and grandmother told me. But when I visited that little boy, he was staring out the window. He could not deal with the trauma in the road or the trauma in his own system. So he was just in the 1,000-yard stare, gripping the edge of the sofa, and I could see in my mind's eye the white knuckles he was holding on, like. And over in another part of the living room was my aunt, my mother, and my grandfather, hysterically screaming and crying, really loud. And this boy was just frozen. No one was paying attention to him. And Pop, my grandpa, was the safest man in the whole world for me. Couldn't wait to hold me and change my diaper from a nap and take me out. He just blasted me with unconditional love. He adored me so much. And part of my body remembers that. So have that suddenly taken away, it was gone, and we never talked about his death. We never talked. Where's Pop Up? We didn't talk about it. It was all swept under the carpet with a family. So my conditioning for trauma, and everyone has their own way of conditioning from trauma. You've heard of fight, flight, fear. There's a couple other F words in there.
Right.
Fix and fawn, 5 Fs. And mine was to flight. I didn't fight, or I froze. I just froze and didn't move, and I went left in my own fantasy world. And what I realized even last night when I was in meditation was when I'm in meditation, I'm almost in that same beingness of I'm there, I'm aware, but I'm not aware. There's something else going on. I'm paying attention to the inner world, just like I am when I'm sitting in the cushion doing meditation. Now, those moments, when I look at those moments in my life, it's like instead of being frozen, what is transmuted from that experience is unbelievable amount of compassion. Because the inner child work, I found compassion for him. And that became my adult identity as a mentor, friend, a human being. I hope.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
So from that process, you learned the softening of self-compassion
And compassion for others.
and compassion for others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
And I writing and reading the book over and over again has even practice has grown. My heart has grown even
Even since then.
since then.
Yeah.
Miraculous things were happening in my life. I don't want to go into the stories, but there's so many of them that are happening in these last weeks even.
Well, yeah, it's an incredible gift. Night, it really is. I mean, for you, to you, and for you, and from you, and yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm a little embarrassed.
Good.